So hello everyone, once again welcome to this video. So in this video we talk about the care of patient on ventilator. So there is a mnemonic which is known as fast, hugs and bed. This mnemonic is mainly used for the patients who are critically ill, like we can say the patients who are admitted in ICUs or in emergency conditions. This mnemonic was given by Vincent in 2005, where it was fast and hugs. So bid was added later, but these are the things which are very useful whenever we are taking care of a patient who is critically ill. So in this video we'll quickly talk about the patient who is on ventilator. Under these headings, how we can take care of a patient in a very safe and secure way. So quickly we'll talk about F. So here the F stands for feeding. So if we talk about the feeding of a patient who is on ventilator, feeding can be orally, feeding can be internally, or feeding can be parenteral nutrition. So if we talk about these three routes, if the patient is on ventilator, you can give a NG tube feed to your patient, or we can go with a TPN feed also for the patient. So suppose if the patient is on nasogastric tube feeding, so every, like whatever is the doctor's order, like suppose the doctor is ordered for 2 hourly feed, so every 2 hourly you need to give the feed to the patient. If the patient is on TPN, so special consideration has to be taken care, because whenever the patient is on TPN, there are chances that the blood glucose level increases because of the complex form of carbohydrate in the TPN. So if the patient is on TPN, regular blood glucose monitoring has to be taken care. So feeding has to be taken care in these three headings. Then we talk about analgesic. So analgesic is important to give to the patient who is on ventilator, because patient is on ventilator because of the intubation, that is ET intubation, because of the several procedures which is done on the patient may complain of pain. So as to avoid those kind of pain, patient has to put on analgesic. So here patient can be on mild analgesic, depends upon the pain scoring of the patient. We have to start from 0 to 10. If the patient scoring is around 8 to 10, then I need to select for a narcotic or opioids. If a patient scoring is in mild condition, I can go with any of the mild analgesic also. So if the patient is on ventilator and non-responsive, I can go with behavioral pain scale. But if the patient is in ventilator and patient is responsive, I can go with a VAS scale, that is visual analog scale. So for reference of the pain scales, you can refer my other videos also. I have prepared a video on VAS numerical rating scale. You can just go and check those videos also. So if the patient is unresponsive, I can go with behavioral pain scale, and according to the patient pain scoring, you can go for analgesic. Then comes S, that is for sedation. So sedation needs to be taper off slowly, because there is requirement that a very famous term, sedation on vacation. We have heard lots of about this term, that is sedation on vacation. So in between, sedation has to be put down. So because to check out how much is the patient effort, like how much patient is putting their effort from coming out from the ventilator. So for that reason, slowly gradually sedation has to be tapered off. Then comes thromboprophylaxis. Because the patient is on ventilator, the mobility is 0%, so there are more chances of having thrombus. So to prevent these kind of thrombus, patient can be put on DVT, that is deep vein thrombosis pump. So in all the critical care department, we have DVT pump. The DVT pump can be applied to the calf muscles, so it helps in the regulation of the blood, so that there is no formation of thrombus. If there is no formation of thrombus, patient can be at low risk of getting cardiac arrest, respiratory arrest, and other embolism related diseases. So DVT prophylaxis is very important. If it is not working, like DVT pump is not working, or it doesn't put effect on the patient, we can next go for the drugs also. Then comes your H, that is head end elevation. So in order to avoid aspiration, because if the patient is aspirating the whatever is the content, patient may have a high risk of getting VAP, that is ventilator associated pneumonia. Patient may also get nosocomial infection also. So in order to avoid these sorts of infection, head end should be elevated up to 35 to 45 degree angle. So always remember, if you have patient who is on ventilator, keep your head end elevated up to 35 to 45 degree angle. Then comes your U, that is for ulcer prophylaxis. So why? Because patient, again, the peristaltic movement is zero. Patient is not able to take much amount of fiber in the diet. The fluid content is also very low. So there are chances of getting ulcers. Ulcers can be your gastroduodenal ulcers, or ulcers can be of other type. So in order to, and because again one more reason, increased production of HCl. So to avoid these sorts of ulcers, patient can be put on H2 blockers. So the most common H2 blocker which we are using for almost all patients is Ranitidine. So this is the safest choice of drug which can be given to all the patients who are on ventilator. Then comes your G, that is glycemic control. So glycemic control, as he told you about, that a patient who are on ventilator has a tendency, because of sometime TPN and otherwise also, they may have increase in blood glucose level. So as a target, we need to maintain the blood glucose level up to 140 to 190. So this is the safest RBS value that needs to be maintained for a patient who are on ventilator. So for this, if the patient is unable to maintain it, you can go with insulin also. Then comes your S. S stands for spontaneous breathing trial. So just check for the patient effort, like how much breath patient is trying to take by themselves. So that is spontaneous breathing trial. Then comes your B. B stands for bowel care. Again, because there is no mobility of the patient, so bowel care has to be taken care very importantly, otherwise patient may develop of constipation. So here every patient has to be given with loose syrup or any sort of laxative. So it is important to write laxative in their prescription, because bowel care has a very important role. Then comes your indwelling catheter. So if it is not required, after a certain period of time, try to remove the catheter as soon as possible, because if the catheter is in situ, it will lead to high chances of CAUTI, that is catheter associated urinary tract infection. So if the patient is able to go and void by themselves, so please avoid putting in indwelling catheter. But if the patient is unconscious, not responsive, still on ventilator, then you have to keep the patient on indwelling catheter. But in that condition, keep the do the catheter care at least twice a day. Then comes your D, that is de-escalation of antibiotic. So suppose the patient has started with a very heavy dose of antibiotic, try to taper the dose so as the patient can be adjusted on the minimal doses also, and slowly patient can be weaned off from the ventilator to the BiPAP or to the CPAP or to the other oxygen devices, and finally to the room temperature air. So majority of the patient, like from ICUs or the critical care areas, majority of the patient doesn't get discharged, because the patient first they will taper off to the ICU or to the ward, and then they will discharge from there. So this is a very simple mnemonic, that is fast, hugs and bed. Every time whenever you are taking care of a client who is in ICU, please remember these headings and always take your handover or the care in the under these headings only, because this is very easy to remember and you can just use it whenever you are at patient bedside. So thank you very much. This is all for this video. If you have any doubt or any query, just put it in comment box.